Welcome into Ride the Line, the greatest podcast in sports betting entertainment. No G Money Grant Mitchell today. He is at a wedding, but we are here with our SEC specialist, Brock Boynton. You guys are going to get some good SEC talk in today, thanks to Brock. So I appreciate you joining me, man.
How are we doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm excited for week one. You know, you don't realize how much you actually miss and love football until you get to week one of the college slate. Like, I was excited after week 0. I was excited going into it. But I am jumping for joy right now. We got Boise State kicking off in a few hours, and I can't wait.
Oh, exactly. I mean, what are we, about 4.5 hours away? I mean, and hot take here, but I think the Boise State team this year is a lot better than last year's Boise State team.
Really? That is a hot take. Let's talk about them for a minute here. You know, the line is moving tonight in favor of USF, but a lot of people are on Boise State. I just have the fear that when Ashton Ginty wasn't on the field for them, they were really bad. Like, they could not move the football as well on offense. You think they're going to be okay? Why is that?
The experience that's coming back. I think a lot of people saw how they got exposed of being Boise State going against Power 5 in playoffs. So that's pretty much what we saw. I mean, we're going against a South Florida team. I mean, we got to be real. We have a team that's been there, done that, that's been on the stage, that's going to be hungry of all the shit that they got through all offseason, the build-up. I mean, I love the line. Keep going down. I mean, keep taking it down, please. Please.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, looking at the Penn State game from the playoffs last year, they did hang with Penn State. I mean, Ginty did everything he could possibly do. He was still getting yards with no blocking there, and that was a really good Penn State football team, one that, you know, I personally thought should have beat Notre Dame, but unfortunately, that didn't happen because of a little mistake from Drew Aller. But we'll talk about the Nittany Lions a little bit later on the show today. Today, we're going to be breaking down week one. We're talking some big topics, Big Ten versus SEC, potential sleepers for the national championship, Heisman, every big debate in college football that you guys want to know. So make sure you tune in. But before we do that, check out WSN.com, the World Sports Network. We are presented by WSN. You get your sports betting picks and promo codes and all that good stuff on the site. So that's linked down in the description below. But Brock, I want to start with the big topic here, and I think that's the Big Ten versus the SEC. You know, you're an SEC guy, so I want you to defend right now for me why you think the SEC is a stronger conference than the Big Ten heading into 2025.
Well, once we get past week 3, we get out of conference, and then we get into conference. What else do I need to say? It's a straight gauntlet. Gauntlet, week 3 through 12. Until the end of until rivalry weekend. I mean, I was just looking at this is little, but I like to say, I mean, the game's won in the trenches. I mean, you just look up the top 10 offensive line, the top 10 defensive line. I mean, all of it, half of it's defense. Half of it's all SEC. I mean, yes, Big Ten. I mean, to get off the sidetrack, I was surprised to see Utah in there. But, I mean, on how hard their schedule is week in, week out, you can't compare it to anything else.
Yeah, that's the thing about the SEC. And I'm an SEC believer. I think it's the best conference in the country, obviously. And it's only getting stronger as teams like Texas and Oklahoma come into the conference now in the past couple of years. But I look at Alabama last year. A lot of people gave Alabama a lot of flack, and there's no excuse to go on the road to lose to a team like Oklahoma. There's no excuse. But at the same time, too, you're going on the road, and I know it's quote unquote Big 12, like, you know, brand new SEC, old Big 12, but it's still hard to go on the road and win a football game in the SEC because you can't look forward. You got to look to the next week. Anyone can knock them off. Now, Vanderbilt, no excuse there, but no excuse.
That's terrible, man.
There's no excuse. But you know what? Every week is a gauntlet in the SEC. So looking at Bama this year, you're the Bama guy. You know, you've been in Bryant-Denny Stadium before. What's the expectations for the Tide this season?
High. I mean, to be honest with you, I think I'm calling out. I've been saying it since that schedule came out. I think we go into Georgia this year and beat Georgia. I really don't see a reason why we're not with our defense to carry the way. I think our defense, in my opinion, our weakest spot last year was our corner. Our cornerbacks got picked on and picked on and picked on. We have the second best cornerback group coming in college football. Our defense is the number one defense coming back. I mean, what more do you want? Our 3 of our offensive linemen are in the top 10 rating in the offensive lineman in college football. Yes, we have a new quarterback, Ty Simpson. If you have any doubts on him, I mean, he's got his weapons. Ryan Williams, I mean, the dude just turned 18 3 weeks ago. So, I mean, that's pretty scary. And then the one thing I do have to question about week 1 and even week 2 is our running back, Jam Miller. He is out. He has his shoulder got dislocated and he is out. But thank God to the transfer portal, we got 2 new running backs coming in this year. And I was just looking at the depth chart, and we have Daniel Hill and Dre Washington that are going to be the 1 and 2 back this weekend, and I'm looking forward to it. And I was surprised to see Richard Young getting beat out in the offseason and spring, but I mean, it's like we just got done talking about. It's deep. It's competition in the SEC.
Yeah, definitely. And, looking at Alabama, I think with Ty Simpson, that kind of plays into the quarterback style that they've had when they've been really good. Outside of even a Bryce Young, I mean, he's a pocket passer. He's short, though. But you look at going through the list, Mac Jones, I mean, Jalen Hurts, a little different, obviously. But you got, let's see, Jake Coker was one, Blake Sims, A.J. McCarron, Greg McElroy.
Yeah, AJ.
He fits that mold, man.
That's what I keep comparing him to AJ. That's what just be that game pace, just control the game and let your playmakers do their thing.
Yeah. And there's no reason that Alabama shouldn't make the college football playoff this year. I mean, DeBoer took over a team from Nick Saban that was in the college football semifinal, had a really good chance to beat Michigan in that game. I mean, if you think go their way, they are in the national title game as a junior, as when Jalen Milroe was a junior. He kind of digressed a little bit as a senior, but this is a really good Alabama team. So I'm looking forward to see them kick off the season against Florida State. They're a 13.5-point favorite. The line was bet up from 11 to 13.5. I don't expect much out of Florida State this year, and I think it's really hard to expect anything. They haven't been the same team since they were rightfully so, I think, left out of the college football playoff. They have Tom Castellanos from Boston College coming in to start for quarterback for them. He was benched at BC. A game that Alabama should cruise and win by, I think, 20-plus points. As an Alabama fan, how are you looking at this one?
Well, when Florida State's quarterback is talking and not talking the right stuff about the Alabama defense, you're just
saying. I haven't seen this.
Oh, it was even talked about this past Saturday on the College Game Day show, like the preview game day show. They were just talking, saying things he shouldn't be saying and just feeding the beast. So I'll be curious to see what happens, what we show. We got supposed to be thunderstorms all day on Saturday down in Florida. So I just say run the rock and just show them on how we do it.
Yeah, and Florida State is a team that was in the national championship conversation a couple of years ago. Last year, heading into the year, I have nightmares from the Ireland game because when Georgia Tech beat them, I thought they were going to be legit. Again, I had bets tied to them all weekend, and they blew that. So I don't think they're going to take a 2-win program all the way back up and be in a position to compete with Alabama. 13.5 feels like one of the juiciest lines of the weekend. That's my biggest fear about it. It feels too good to be true. But I also think bookmakers don't exactly know what Florida State is. And Castellanos, at his peak, when he was playing really well for BC last year, he was a competitive quarterback. But when the wheels came off, they came crashing down. And Alabama's defense should just be a little too much for him to handle in this spot. Looking at Alabama's schedule here, Brock, I want to go through it with you since you are the Alabama guy here. Last year, I had my heart broken. I had an Alabama future on them to make the college football playoff. Obviously, that didn't come through for me. So let's see what your prediction is for them this season. You think you're a biased fan or no?
No, I'm real.
Okay.
But I do have to say I'll have to find my slip. I know it's plus money. You can take Alabama plus 9 wins and Notre Dame plus 10 wins this year for plus money, and I thought that was a pretty good one.
I think that's a good bet. And we're going to focus on Notre Dame here in a little bit, talking about their matchup with Miami, but they got a really tough start to the season. So will be interesting to see there for Notre Dame. But looking at this, they're going to beat Florida State. They're going to beat Louisiana Monroe. I think they're going to beat Wisconsin at home too. We go down to Georgia. You like them to beat Georgia in that game. Why?
I do. It's a different team this year. I also think on the other side of the ball, Georgia's a different team too. I don't think we're going to see the same Georgia dominance of what we've seen in years past up front. I mean, we saw it last year on how spread out college football got. You saw some team like a team like SMU, that some would say they probably shouldn't have been in that playoff. Some would say they would. Me personally, I don't think they should have been, but they were able to hit the transfer portal and equal out. NIL money came in. I mean, these teams are able to do whatever they need to do to win ball games. And I think a lot of guys are letting money talk and leaving. And I think your star players are going and getting bags somewhere else.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Then we go to the Vanderbilt game. This is what's the score in this one? It's going to be a massacre.
It's not going to be good.
No.
It's not going to be good.
Whatever, the lines are out for these games right now. It's a 24-point spread.
I was just about to say probably buy it up to 35.
Yeah, you can get a good alternate. I don't think there's going to be any remorse.
And it's at home. It's not gonna. I mean, even I don't know if the gentlemen over at Bama go to class, but I'm sure if they're walking around on campus, they're going to be reminded all week long.
Oh yeah, I mean that's all that ESPN's going to play all week. Hey, anything in college football and blah blah blah. They'll be on repeat in the locker room too. Especially, I'm hoping they do win that Georgia game. But if they go down to Athens and lose that football game, and then you got Vanderbilt the next week, and you got something angry to take out, it's going to be even worse for them. So at Missouri shouldn't be an issue for them. And then home against Tennessee, I think Tennessee's the fakest 24.
I agree.
Country. We don't know what they are until we see what the quarterback looks like there. They'll win that game. At South Carolina with Lamar Sellers, that's going to be an interesting game. What do you think there, win or loss?
If it's at night, it may be a trap.
Yeah.
But South Carolina quarterback, he played out of his butt last year. And I just feel like South Carolina is one of those teams that if they want to show up, they're going to show up and you better be ready to play. But I don't know, man. If it's at night, it's a trap. I still think they come out of South Carolina with a win.
Yeah, looking at the schedule, I think the Missouri game could potentially be a trap because you're at Vanderbilt. You're going to be versus Vanderbilt the week before, riding high, coming off a big win. Then you got to go on the road to Missouri. They could be better than people expect.
And the thing is, I don't know because, then you're going to LSU. LSU's coming to you. So... And how good is LSU going to be at the end of this year? Because I know their quarterback is questioned. They say he's fine about his knee, but if you're missing practice, how fine is your knee?
I agree with that. Garrett Nussmeier, we'll see if he's healthy, we'll see how he is. But if he's healthy and LSU is everything that people think they're going to be, and they can find a way to beat Clemson on Saturday night, which who knows if that's going to be the case or not. That's going to be, if they beat Clemson right there, and that's going to be a big game against LSU because they're going to be in a playoff position at that point if they can knock off Clemson to start the year. Oklahoma, I think they will massacre Oklahoma again.
It's same thing.
Same game like Vanderbilt.
Yep.
And then, hey, what's your thoughts on the SEC getting these 1AA opponents in the second to last week of the season?
I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm not a fan. What are we doing? You get your walk-ons out there. No offense. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but you want to hurt guys before going into possibly a playoff, or you got an Iron Bowl the following weekend. I know in years past that Iron Bowl game has been a very big game, especially this year and years going forward. You got to stack your wins going into playoff time. You got to make that committee. You have to show them what you can do. And putting 70 up on Eastern Illinois, what is that going to do for you?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why the SEC gets a lot of crap, because the teams will do this and schedule these 1AA opponents in the back half of the season. I think it obviously helps them. Don't get me wrong. If they can go beat Georgia, if they're a one-loss team going into Eastern Illinois and then the Iron Bowl, like they're going to make the playoffs, and they're potentially playing for the SEC championship most likely, and it
Right.
helps them. But if you're a two-loss team going into that game, potentially 3 losses, which I don't think they will be, but
Right.
you're already down for the count right there. It's over. So you can't go on the road and beat like an LSU or something, and then you get points back and have a chance to make the college football playoff. So
Exactly.
so yeah, I see Alabama going like 10-2, potentially 11-1. It all
Mm-hmm.
depends on the quarterback, and they should be in the college football playoff. If they don't, worst case scenario, before we move on from Alabama here, if they do not make the college football playoff, does Kalen DeBoer need to go? What is your thoughts?
Hey, he's gone. I
Yeah.
mean, he's got to find a nice high school somewhere on the other side of, probably outside the state of Alabama, I'd probably have to say, and settle down there. It would not be good in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, 100%. So good Alabama talk. Appreciate you doing that here. Moving into some of the other things we want to discuss on the show today. We got Texas versus Ohio State coming up. I am so excited for this football game. It is going to be awesome. Texas trying to get revenge from last year in the Cotton Bowl. That was a game that were you on Texas or Ohio State last year in the playoff game?
See, and that was the problem. I was on SEC all playoffs last year, and they want to let me down.
Yeah.
And then then Big Ten wants to think they run college football.
Yeah. Yep.
It was not good.
No.
But I was going to have to ask you, what did you think this past Saturday of what Ohio State did on Instagram? Did you see their recent post?
Let me see. Was it like a hype video or something?
It was just a photo. It was one more week. It was this past Saturday. And that was like the main theme of the.
I knew they were angry about not playing the night game.
Yes,
which
I would be too. I would be too.
Yeah, and you know what? We deserve a night game. It's game week. Is this the one you're talking about? The video?
Yeah, with no, it's a photo. It's Quinn Ewers laying on the ground, and you got an Ohio State guy standing over the top of him, holding up like a 1.
I think they may have taken it. They may have taken it down.
It
Honestly,
may. I mean, it was going viral. I mean, people were reposting it. It was, yeah. It.
Well, here's the thing in this football game. I think if Arch is everything people say Arch is, Texas is going to go in and win the football game. If he's everything
Easily.
they say it. If
Easily.
he isn't, they still have a good chance to go in and win the football game, because Julian Sayin has thrown, I think, 5 passes at Ohio State. Like, he has not done a whole lot in college. So I'm assuming Arch going to be better. You're either on the Arch train or you're not on the Arch train. But the bottom line, if he is all that, Texas is the national championship favorite. Now, there's other people that say, well, they lost a lot of production from last year. They did, but their backups coming in are also NFL guys. And Ohio State lost 14 guys to the draft last year too. And I think the guys coming in for Texas are slightly better than Ohio State. And it comes down to Arch. Jeremiah Smith, he's a guy I want to talk about, because a lot of people are like, they don't have an answer for Jeremiah Smith. They don't have an answer. They did have an answer in the college football playoff last year. He had 1 catch for 3 yards. So, I do think Texas defensively is going to be in a position to shut down Ohio State. Julian Sayin is not Will Howard at that point. Will Howard was dealing at that point last season. And now you got Arch, who kind of gives off Joe Burrow vibes.
Oh, absolutely.
He's I don't know if you saw the video. Yeah. He
the red dot? Red dot?
The red dot was one. That was a great quote. And then he had the other one. He was like, do you get nervous? He's like, I'm a little nervous in the hotel, but when I go out there, it's time to go. And then he asked the reporter, do you get nervous? That was just a Joe Burrow line.
Oh, absolutely. I think they say now the aura. You got that aura? Oh, yeah, it's not going to be good.
we are not ready. Like the internet is not ready for Arch Manning to go into Ohio State. If he goes in there, completes 65% of his passes, throws for 270, a couple touchdowns, runs the ball for a little bit, and they go in and win 10 by 10 points, like the internet is going to explode. Texas is officially back. Because I think we've been, ever since Sam Ehlinger said Texas is back in the Alamo Bowl like a while ago, like that was kind of when that movement started, and now they're finally back. If Arch can go in there and deliver on Saturday, they're really going to be back. So how do you see this game playing out? And I know you're the SEC guy, but
I think it's going to be I think it's going to be a slow start, but by halftime, after halftime, I think there's going to be halftime adjustments, and it's not going to be good. I think the playmakers are going to be playmakers, and speed's going to kill. That is, and bigger, faster, stronger. Let's go.
Spoken like a true SEC guy. Now, Paul Feinbaum came out. He was like, and I love Paul Feinbaum, and I'm sure most SEC people do, and especially Alabama fans because he loved Alabama. He loves Arch Manning now. He's obsessed with Arch. But he was like, Ohio State is going to blow them off the field. It's not going to be close. Vegas doesn't know what they're talking about. I tend to side with him there. I think this is a game that when you look at Texas and you look at Steve Sarkisian, they have to win this game. There's no other answer for them. No. Ohio State doesn't have to win. They're still going to be in the college football playoff. They're still probably going to be in the Big Ten championship game if they can beat Michigan and Penn State. That's it.
I think at the end of the day, it's just going to be a culture thing. It's just going to be a culture thing. And the pride that the Longhorns are going to come bring up from Texas it's going to be unmatched. It's going to be unmatched.
Yeah. So let's look at Steve Sarkisian a little bit here. I think, the reason I say that Texas has to win this game is because of the fact that Sark is not regarded as James Franklin, but he kind of should be regarded as James Franklin. He has not won a big game, and you can have the excuse that, well, it wasn't his Texas team at first, and now he's finally got all his guys there, and this is the season he's been working towards, and he has said that many, many times now. But when I look at Sark, I posted this on Instagram the other day. I said he can't win a big game, and someone's like, "Well, he walked into Tuscaloosa, a couple years ago and won a big game." Like, that's a big game. Don't get me wrong. That's a big game. At the same time, too, the stakes aren't high like playing Washington in the college football playoff, losing that game last year, playing Ohio State, being in a position to win the game and not being able to do it. The 90-yard screen pass before the end of the half killed him. The fumble at the end of the game killed him. So I think this is one that Sark has to win. If we're talking about Texas being all that, this is the game he has to win. Do you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's no, if I'm being honest with you, I feel like in today's world, you have a lot of boosters and other outside people in coaches' ears, and it's up to the coaches to decide on if they're going to listen to that or not. And I think you had a lot of people in his ear last year about Manning. When are we going to see him? What's going on? And I think you had a lot of outside noise going on, and I think it was a lot of buildup, and the decision making wasn't there. And I think this year, a lot of the questions you're gonna have the answers for, and I think it's gonna just be a lot of just free ball and just let them go. And yeah, you're there to coach, but just, hey, you're gonna give the sign and let's go play. Manning, go do your thing. Like,
no, I totally agree with that. And this is a Texas team that I have going 10-2. I have them winning against Ohio State early, and I think this is the year that we get back to the SEC is by far the most dominant conference in the country, because the top end of the SEC is just, it's a gauntlet. Like you look at Ohio State's schedule right now, like they play 12th ranked Illinois on the road. That is not like going on the road to play 9th ranked LSU. Like it's just, It's a totally different ball game here. So score prediction, give it to me. Texas, Ohio State, what do you got?
I'm going 28-17 Texas.
28-17 Texas. I like that. I think it's close early. I think Texas might go in the locker room down. I think they're going to get the ball after the half and find a way to make a statement. If they are everything people say they are, and if they are, as good as Arch Manning's potential, they're going to win the football game. So no fear there. Spoken like two true SEC guys. Okay, here. So we got another SEC game. Talk about big one, LSU I'm intrigued to see what LSU does in week 1 because Clemson is all that. You got Cade Klubnik back. Dabo Sweeney has really focused on just, growing homegrown talent, getting kids in early, developing them. He has not gone to the portal. Other teams have not elected to do that. But my fear with Brian Kelly, he's just not an SEC guy. From your perspective as an SEC guy, what do you think of Brian Kelly coaching at LSU? It just doesn't feel right, does it?
Brian Kelly's the type of individual to sit down and pee. The people down south, the gentlemen at least, they'll find a tree and water it. You're not when you drink tea with your pinky up, you're not built for the SEC. Where's Coach O? Come on. What are we doing, man? But Brian Kelly's another one. If we don't have a good season here, is he on the chopping block? Where's he going?
I think 9-3. I think that they need to go 9-3 for him to be back. Because 9-3 with their schedule, losing the right games, puts them in a position to make the college football playoff. In a position, probably not there. 10-2 gets them in. But if you're 9-3 under Brian Kelly this year with their schedule, you got a pretty decent shot of getting in.
Yeah. No, absolutely. But you have to get that 9-3.
Yeah, you have to be 9-3, and your defense has to be a lot better than they were. Because there's been so many, even last year, the defense was improved, but it still wasn't great. And then the run game for them was non-existent. They couldn't run the ball when they needed to. Like, you can't ask Garrett Nussmeier to throw the ball 50 times in a football game and expect to win. Like, you need to put him in 3rd and short, 2nd and short. You can't put him in 2nd and long, 3rd and long. You're just not going to be good. But their schedule is an absolute gauntlet here. Brian Kelly, I just don't know what it is. Some guys can't. Some guys' teams aren't ready to play early. I look at Zach Taylor for the Bengals in the NFL. Like, that Bengals team is never ready to play early. So I don't know what it is. It just tends to be a program thing, a coaching thing, a philosophy thing. I feel like this is the year, though, that LSU has to get back on track. And I don't know if they win the game, but I think they go down there and lose by field goal if it's a loss.
Absolutely. Your best bet's to buy them up to 7 or 10 if you wanted to, and take Clemson on the money line. He's the king of losing close games.
Yeah.
I almost think it's almost an over preparation of these games. I want to say it was 2 years ago he lost, and he was saying his guys were too stiff. They weren't ready. And then last year when they traveled to meet USC, I think that was at a neutral site, they stopped 2 or 3 times the buses just so guys could get out and stretch. So, and I understand, we got to cater our players. We got to make sure our players are ready to go. But is it almost an over preparation, over juicing up our guys week 1 going into it? Because now we're going on year 6 now, and the first 5 haven't been good.
Yeah, I think it's reckless decision making too. I think that's the thing with Brian Kelly. Every time I bet on a Brian Kelly football game, there's always a moment in it where I'm like, what are you doing? Like, why are we doing this right now? And, they might convert, but it's still not the right move. Like, if it's the second quarter and it's a 3-point game and we're going for it on our 36-yard line on 4th and 1, which he always does, it's not the right move in my opinion. Like, I'd rather have you punt the ball and play it safe. He's always going to go for it. He's always reckless. And every time I feel like I bet on one of his games, I get screwed in some capacity because of his decision-making. And I think that ultimately, in the past few kickoff games, from what I remember, it wasn't necessarily bad decision-making. Last year, USC threw for 400 yards. So, nothing you can do there. The year before, they got blown out by Florida State. The year before, it was a really close game. But they missed the kick down the stretch, I think, right? To send overtime. So, it's bad decision-making. It's not being able to convert in critical situations. But this is an LSU team. I think that if they do go in and beat Clemson, we're going to start talking about them like they can go out and win the SEC.
Absolutely. Especially with a Clemson team that's returning, I think it was over 85% of their roster.
Yeah.
On the road, and we just got done talking earlier, trying to win on the road in college football in today's world is extremely hard. Doesn't matter where you're going.
Yeah.
And the fact that it is at night at Clemson, it's the juices are going to be flowing, that's for sure.
What a weekend, though. Just that we get this on Saturday night after Texas, Ohio State. We got Alabama, Florida State. And then Sunday we go Notre Dame,
Miami.
Monday we got Bill Belichick's debut, which we'll talk about a little bit here in a few minutes. But I want to spend some time focusing on Florida here. I don't know if you saw the picture going around Twitter, the team pictures of Long Island versus. The spread is 45.5 points in this game. I mean, it's hard to win by 46 points. I think no matter who you are, I think Florida could put up 70 on these guys pretty easily. There's no reason to. You're not going to see a lag way for more than a half. I would probably still, like, gun to my head, if I got to pick a side, I'm taking Florida minus 45.5.
Absolutely. Do we know, is there a running clock in college football?
I don't think there is. There may be, though. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we get
that'd be something that we have to look into, because I mean, because that fourth quarter could get pretty ugly.
Yeah, I don't think there's a running clock. I don't think there's like a mercy rule in college. But yeah, that, like, I get it if you're Long Island, and I get it and I don't get it. Like, you're going to probably make enough money in this football game to pay for your football program for the next year, which is great. But like, and it's really cool experience for the kids. Like, it's still cool for them to go on the road, to play in the swamp and get beat by 70 points.
No, yeah, make a couple TikToks in the away locker room. Yeah. I mean,
it's going to be a cool experience for them walking in there, but they're going to get beat by 70 points. And if you genuinely have any hope for your season, like, I look at Syracuse going, and this is a little different, but like, I'm a UConn fan, right? I know that's not real football compared to the SEC, but like, Syracuse is playing Tennessee week 1, and then they play UConn week 2 as their home opener. Like, UConn's not an easy home opener coming off a Syracuse game. Right. You know, I don't understand. Like, if I'm Long Island, like, there might be carnage on that football field.
No, I mean,
that guy's go try to win an FCS championship or my conference championship. It's not easy.
Absolutely. I not to mention the numbers in that photo compared. I mean, are we going to get out healthy? How many are we going to bring back alive?
There's not a lot. Football support staff, the difference and all that. It's crazy here. So 45.5 points. I would take them to cover, but I'm more curious about your thoughts on Florida this year. Are they going to be a legitimate contender in the SEC? I tend to think that, like Billy Napier, any team that extends a guy and gives a guy like a contract extension when they were playing like they were last year, I think that's the wrong move. So I'm not super high on Florida. I think Lagway is really good. I just don't see it with Florida as much.
I agree.
As teams.
I agree. I mean, I frauds. I mean, let's turn the yearbook. I mean, Tim Tebow's not there. I mean, you see what Richardson's doing in the NFL. I mean, what is there really to talk about? I mean, what is there to talk about?
What a dumb pick, Anthony Richardson. I can't go over. Like, the guy did not play. He didn't play. And maybe you can make the same case for like Joe Milton or something from Tennessee. Like, Joe Milton, like, he was not good on the road, and like, you see it in college, he has the same issues in the pros as he had in college, and at least in the game time that he gets in training camp and all that. But like, I just don't understand why Anthony Richardson went so early. I know his athleticism is insane, but man, like, he didn't play. He didn't play. What are we doing?
And now he's getting beat out by Riley Leonard.
Yeah. Yeah, right. And Riley Leonard, like, that's not a guy that I really have any much respect for outside of like just as, you know, being a good person and his faith and all that. Like, as far as being a football player, like, I don't think Riley Leonard can throw the ball in the NFL, you know, but he's probably going to be a good backup.
Oh, absolutely.
So we got that covered. Moving into a little Sunday game here. This should be a fun one. We're going in Notre Dame, Miami here. Now, Miami, I think, is undervalued in the spot. They're a 2.5-point home dog. Miami did a lot in the portal. This is one of the games that I spent a lot of time researching as far as like what they went out and did, because their issues last year were in defense. They were in the secondary. Brought Jacoby Thomas from Tennessee at safety, Keontae Scott from Houston at corner. Defensively, they also got Mohamed Torrey from Rutgers, who's going to start a linebacker from them. They hit the portal really, really hard on defense, and they got Carson Beck on offense. Notre Dame's got guy in CJ Carr who's never played before. Notre Dame should be able to establish the run. They got 7 defensive starters back, but this is a Miami team that I personally think is going to knock off Notre Dame at home in this spot. I don't know how you're feeling about it. What do you think?
I I I'm gonna have to disagree with you if I'm being honest with you. And the reason why I say that is because it comes down to a coaching thing,
Yeah.
comes down to more of a discipline and just getting your boys ready for a game.
Yeah.
And when I see Miami football Instagram page posting a photo of a deep ball and there's three cornerbacks around one wideout, kind of raises a little question. And it's going to be rainy down there. And I know we got CJ Carr, a lot of questions around him. Redshirt freshman,
Yeah.
new quarterback for also Notre Dame. But the only thing he has to do is snap the ball and hand the ball off to his left hip, and hand the ball off to his right hip.
I agree with that. Where'd the kid go? I want to try to figure this out. The kid last year for them who came in relief effort, their backup last year. I think
He
he
went to
came
Syracuse. He's going to be a starting quarterback at Syracuse.
Syracuse. He was a
Mhm.
stud. Like I'm because there's no reason CJ Carr would have won that job if he was in the building. So I was just wondering where he actually went. So Syracuse probably gonna be a pretty good team then. He came in, he looked better than Riley Leonard in the game that he came in to
Mhm.
play.
No, absolutely. Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, sorry to get off this game, but I always feel like Syracuse has always been great. I mean, past 2 years picking up transfer portal for quarterback, Kyle McCord, and
Yeah.
then going to him. But no, I just think it comes down to a coaching aspect and just winning in the trenches. I mean, there's no need to throw the football if you're Notre Dame. You have a bye, and then you play Texas A&M.
Yeah.
So how much do you want to show?
And there's a world, like there's a world I think where, and you have Notre Dame 10 plus wins, and I think they can easily hit 10 plus wins if they lose the first two games. But there is a world, and I know you're on Notre Dame in this one. They lose to Miami. I think Texas A&M could be a challenge for them. You never know. That game was really close last year when they played it. Like there's a world they start 0-2. Like they're not making the college football
Oh
playoff,
no, no.
which is these are must-win games for them early. Now the benefit is
And
if they go 1-1 or 2-0, they're pretty much in when you look at the last 10 games on the schedule.
And something else to think about when Marcus Freeman last year being in the playoffs and having the cheapest Division One college football buyout at $3.3 million,
Mhm.
where's he going? I mean, who's gonna buy his? Where's he going?
I mean,
Because
like he loves Notre Dame, you know.
yeah, but
I
is
mean,
Notre Dame willing to put up the money to keep him? The way these other schools are going out and paying.
I think Notre Dame is just such a huge brand that they would be. If he's the guy, like Notre Dame, I mean, they play every game on NBC. Like
Mhm.
it's not the SEC, it's not the Big Ten, but it's just as big in a way because of the national attention that they get. But I'm not a Notre Dame guy. I've never been a Notre Dame guy.
Mhm.
Like I'm heavily rooting I'm a Carson Beck believer. If you watch that game that he played against Georgia Tech, one that Georgia Tech probably should have won the football game. And now if you just
Abs-
look how
I
he
mean,
played though, how
yeah.
Carson Beck played in that he single-handedly went out and won the game for Georgia.
Oh,
It was
absolutely.
and the big stops that they did make down the stretch when they had to. But just what a performance by him in that game. I was sitting there. I remember I live bet him a few times. They were getting their ass kicked, and they find a way to claw back, get to overtime. And that night I became a Carson Beck believer, and I wasn't before that.
No, I hear you. I mean, he's ran the SEC the past few years that he was there,
Yeah.
and obviously he has the experience. So I can see why you're on Miami. But like I said, I just feel like the game is going to be won up front, especially the weather conditions that they're calling for that Sunday night.
No, I totally agree with that. I would take Marcus Freeman over Mario Cristobal any day of the week. What he did last year with that team was very impressive. And Cristobal, they just collapsed in moments where they really should have made the college football playoff.
Right.
So totally agree with you there. As we wrap up here, do you have any bets that you're looking at this weekend that you think could be profitable for the people?
If you're feeling frisky, Toledo on the money line against Kentucky.
Okay, tell me why.
Toledo has the second best cornerback group behind Bama. Bama, we got first now. We were terrible last year. Hit the transfer portal, got them up. But Toledo's defense and what they are returning, one, I think they cover the +8 that they're at.
Yeah.
But Kentucky got a new quarterback, and Kentucky is just not gonna. They're gonna be the dog walk of the SEC for the next couple of years, in my opinion, and they're gonna be down. I love Bama minus the 13.5.
Yeah.
I do, and you could say that's homer, and that's fine, but that's just another game that I think it's going to come down to run the ball, and the defense is going to come up with a big turnover. They may even come up with some points themselves, and I think that is a great spread to take. And lastly, I mean, for the big one, I just love Notre Dame. One thing to think about with that game too is the under, and I like the under more than Notre Dame.
Okay.
It opened up at 55.5. And now it's at, last time I looked last night, I want to say it was at 49.5.
Okay.
So the drop off in that is crazy.
All right. I like that. I like all those plays. Interesting bet here. I don't know. I played at Lafayette, so I'm looking at the 1AA lines here. We got Bowling Green against Lafayette. Bowling Green was 14.5 yesterday. They're now up to 21.5. Like that's a big market correction right there. Like that's something I might have to jump on if I'm, because that's a massive. There's no player on Lafayette that would change a spread by that much. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like the fact that it jumps 7 points is insane to me.
No, absolutely.
That's crazy. That's one to look at right there. They were 14.5 last night. I think it was 15.5 this morning. It's now 21.5. So I'm assuming just a lot of people coming in and hammering Bowling Green. I got to look at some game notes on that, but that's one to look at. I do think South Florida is going to be competitive. And I know you're a big Boise State guy here, but like there's a lot of money. There's a lot of bets coming in on South Florida. The line is moving back towards, or on Boise State, the line's moving back towards South Carolina. So that's going to be one to look at. I'm also very, very high on Alabama minus the 13.5. I like Texas money line.
Yes.
I potentially live bet them. I think that could be a good live bet game. You know, I hate to say it, like I like Colorado a little bit against Georgia Tech at home. I think they're going to be a good shape with Caden Salter. You know, Coach Prime crushed TCU as a 21-point dog in his first game at Colorado. Like they are good in home openers. They did find a way to beat North Dakota State last year in the home opener. That was a competitive game. They were an 8-point favorite. I think, you know, a lot of people are on Georgia Tech just because of Haynes King. Colorado is very good. They have a lot of NFL experience on that staff too. So I think that makes a difference there. You know, big spread. I love Florida minus the 45.5. I just think, you know, there's not a world where they don't score 50 points in this game. And, you know, you really need I think to be safe with a cover for Long Island, you need them to score 10 points. I just don't necessarily see that happening.
No.
So those would be some of my plays for the weekend.
I think Indiana also covers the 23.5 against Old Dominion as well.
Okay.
They're just, I mean, Sig, we saw it last year. He beats down on the teams he beats down on. And I mean, when it comes to Ohio State, we'll talk to that when that time comes. But
yeah,
when it comes to Old Dominion, I mean, I feel like that should be a great cover.
Yeah, there's a lot of lines that are on the move right now. Just looking like, you know, Clemson was 4, now they're down 3.5. A lot of lines on the move here. A lot of big spreads too, like BYU 44.5 against Portland State. Like the tough part is like a lot of more times than not, the favorite do cover those lines because they are just so much better. But you don't want to get in a situation where a team's up 35 in the fourth quarter. They're not playing to cover a spread. They're just
right
to work on stuff. Another thing I saw, like Kirby Smart, when he's a 39+ point favorite,
yes.
he's like one time because he just uses these games to work on stuff. And
right.
like that's the fear. That's the problem you get into. You're going to put backups in that are working on things. That's one thing you don't
want. And I mean, prime example, Brian Kelly, I think it was 2 days ago, he said you're going to see 6, 7, 8 different offensive linemen being worked in. I don't think Clemson is a good game to be working on what offensive linemen we're going to be running out there for the rest of the year.
No, unless you trust them all and you think they all can work well together, and it's just keeping guys fresh. But that's usually not the case with the offensive line.
And I understand Clemson has a great defensive front, but I mean, that's a lot of movement, a lot of different personnel, a lot of different communication that we're doing up front to be messing around.
Yeah, you want guys on the same page for sure. For sure.
So,
Well, Brock, I appreciate you joining me today. This was awesome talking some SEC. We got to do it again. Just overall college football. Had a blast.
absolutely.
I'm rooting for your Tide. I hope they get it done. And I'm hoping that my team this year is Texas. Like I kind of pick one team every year. Last year was Alabama.
Yeah.
This year's Texas. So hopefully they can get the job done too in the horseshoe. We'll see.
No, absolutely. I mean, I'll be rooting. Hey, horns up, cover it, money line, buy it up, do it. So.
Well, guys, appreciate you joining us today, talking some college football. We will be back with another episode next week, and we'll get Brock on again in the future to check in on Alabama and all of the other things going around college. So we will see you guys next time for another episode. Make sure you check out WSN.com, and we will talk to you soon.